Welcome to Life Gloss, a beauty podcast for sassy and seasoned women who have lived life and have a drawer full of lip gloss to prove it.
We are thrilled to welcome back Dr. Nicholas Perricone, who is here to share some very exciting news with all of our Life Gloss family. You heard it here first. Dr. Perricone, take it away.
I know there's a lot of politics out there and the administration has just changed. And so people are asking me about making America healthy again. And I think this is a very positive thing happening. It has nothing to do with political beliefs. You know that health is so important as an individual level and also on a level of local governments and then national, because the healthcare costs are enormous. And so the way to go, of course, is through basically preventive maintenance, and that has to be done with health. And so I'm very happy about this. I'm hoping that a number of things are going to happen. I'm working right now with a foundation. It's called Teens for Food Justice. And I actually have been working with them for about a year now. And I'm so enthused about this. So what it is, we're bringing in hydroponics into the school systems. And what the students do is the school system has to, of course, agree. It's about $200,000 to do this. You have to have a space. We have to get the equipment, and the students put together the equipment themselves. They learn a lot about hydroponics. They're amazing. And this could also lead to a career for them as well. But when you have hydroponic food, it's incredible. So I went to Martin Luther King School in New York City and met with the students and was there with the people from Teens for Food Justice. And they're walking me through these students, and they're so knowledgeable about the ions and all the mixtures. They do everything themselves. And there's these beautiful things growing, and there's lettuce. It's just so incredibly green. It's like almost flashing. They said, "You've got to taste this." And I did. When I chewed it up a little bit, I could feel the polyphenols burning the back of my throat. It was incredible. So they make each of these schools now in that one area, they produce up to 10,000 pounds a year of produce, and it goes directly to the cafeteria, and it goes home to the children, families, and it also goes to other areas that they can service their neighborhood. So Teens for Food Justice is just an amazing foundation. I'm trying to bring it into the New Haven school system that's close to Yale and also other areas in Connecticut. And it's expanding. Right now, there's 7 in New York. There's 1 in Denver. So this hydroponics is amazing. And so what you have is it's the knowledge, it's the discipline, it's health beyond belief. These nutrients are so packed in because they're getting light all of the time, and the nutrients are perfectly balanced. So when you look at this, and they gave me some stuff to bring back, and I was having a salad with the cucumbers in it. I'm like, this is like phenomenal. So I'd love to see in this whole thing going on now with Make America Healthy Again. I'd like to talk with people that'll be implementing the program and see if we can take basically this whole idea of Teens for Food Justice into the school systems. The other reason I'm at this Yale School of Public Health now is I want to bring nutrition courses beginning with kindergarten right through high school. I also would like to make sure all healthy food choices in the cafeterias. So those are my goals. And I think with this administration, in terms of Make American Healthy Again, we can combine all of this together. And so we put the politics aside and say this is for the good of the nation's health, and that's critical.
I
Beautiful.
love
Beautiful.
that. I have 2 teenagers, and both of them are super into food and fitness, as well as marine biology, etc. That's something they'd be really interested in.
And also, Dr. Perricone, for all of our listeners out there that are excited about this and they didn't hear their state or their county mentioned, how can they support you? How can they give some support to bringing this into their neighborhood? How can we support your initiative?
That's a great question. I'd love to talk a little bit about it right now. So, on a grassroots level, and you get to your school system, and I would recommend everybody goes to the website for Teens for Food Justice and ask for some literature, and then try to implement that into your school system. And if you can, that's going to be huge for everybody's health, the children and their futures. But also, this whole thing about healthy foods in the cafeteria. When I approach governmental, local government, they say, well, it's mandatory that they have one healthy choice, not a 3. And so it can't be that way. It's got to be all healthy choices. So we have to start with the children. And back when I was an undergraduate, I was working in New Haven with the children. I was in a work study program, so 15 hours a week during the school year and then 40 hours a week. and got to know these children. They're living in public housing. And when I'm in control of them in like 15 hours and then also full time, I implemented nutrition changes and amazing in a period of 2 weeks. Basically, personalities change. They go to focused, calmer, and behavioral problems seem to go away. And a lot of them were overweight and they start slimming down. So we can do amazing things. And if we start with education in the classroom, they could bring it home to their families. And you start off in kindergarten and say, okay, we're going to talk about the importance of colors when you eat like a salad, because all these different colors have different nutrients in them. And it's amazing. They catch on. Imagine if kindergarten saying polyphenols, they do this. And so they can go home and say, we shouldn't do this. And we know the sugar connection and inflammation. And so anything that causes a rapid rise in blood sugar causes an inflammatory response that lasts for up to 3 days in our bodies. So this anti-inflammatory approach is critical. Hopefully in the cafeterias, we have this basically food choices that are all anti-inflammatory and teach people about this. And we can change things around very quickly because I would see a difference in a matter of days with these children. And now my experience with Teens for Food Justice, it's very enthused about what I'm seeing. And they're so knowledgeable. These were high school students and just phenomenal. And I think that's going to make a big difference in what we do. So let's say with a new effort on the new administration in terms of health and focus on the health aspects, this is not politics. And in every situation we're in, there's always something that we can really draw the good out of that. And I think this is really an important change that's happening. And so hopefully when this administration is through, it's going to carry on to the other administrations. And so I'm trying by being at the Yale School of Public Health. There's also a School of Public Policy. And so through these various organizations, we can now hopefully bring this to the country. And we always tend to be the trendsetters here in the world. And so if we can do this in the United States, we can do it everywhere. And I tell you that it's so important because the healthcare costs are just keep on going up. And something as simple as implementing an anti-inflammatory diet makes a huge difference in what that's. And at the end of the day, we all have a mission here. We really have a solid mission. And I know I'm looking at the two of you. I know you have a mission in mind, and everybody does. And you have to point it out to them to go, yes, I do have a mission. But to implement that mission, you have got to have a body that is healthy and a mind that's working. And through that, then you can accomplish. And believe me, no mission is unimportant. I don't care what you're doing. It's critical to society's working correctly. And so don't focus on the fact that there's a president of the United States. And yeah, certainly there's a mission there. But just think about on a local level and even with your neighbors. And everybody's doing a different thing. So the mission is everything. And so how can we meet that mission? My job is to make people healthy. And so the anti-inflammatory diet was great. And when I started my skincare company, of course, I was the first to use anti and penetration enhancers. But most of my work was about nutrition. And so people would ask me, why are you talking about, you have a skincare company, but you talk about salmon and this, do you have any financial interest? I said, no, I don't have a financial interest in that. I'm not involved in that at all. But what I do say, beauty from the inside out is critical. And so you can have the best cream in the world and have this beautiful radiant skin, but it's not going to reduce your chances of reducing a chance of breast cancer or heart disease or all the others. We have to do that systemically. And so what ways of doing it? Anti-inflammatory diet, moderate exercise, meditation is critical. We want to kick up that acetylcholine. And of course, things that are pleasurable. As we talked about that, you have to have things that bring you pleasure. And that changes your physiology in so many different ways. Your immune system works really well when you're happy. And then when you're stressed, it's not a coincidence you get a cold while you're stressed because your immune system is down. And so we have to keep all of this. And it's nothing is isolated. Everything is a matrix and it all meshes together. And so we just start in different areas. Let's try the anti-inflammatory diet. And I thought it was critical. And all my PBS specials were about the diet. I talked very little about the skincare, but I did talk about it because I really worked hard for this. And once again, what I discovered in medical school, inflammation was everywhere. And then putting together the brain beauty connection, and then choosing those active ingredients and putting it in the topical skincare, and then supplements that also do this. And it all comes together very nicely. And we can't talk enough about this. And with the new book coming out, I'm enthused because it's historical. People said, I want to know about you and what happened to you and what brought you here and then what do you believe in? And so it's really an autobiographical piece, but there's a lot of great new information in it. So I hope that the book is read by everybody because it can help. And hopefully with this new push for making America healthy again, this will be integrated into that as well. The book is going to be a life changer. It's not a big treatise. It's very right to the point. And I think it's very entertaining and it's very educational. And I think they're all going to love the title.
Do we
Uh,
have a name yet?
all right, I'll reveal it. It's called
Okay.
Beauty Molecule.
Beauty molecule.
Because
Beauty molecule.
all my research over the past 30 years finally led one path to one molecule that does it all. And so we are going to be there with that book, and you're going to get it, and you're going to discover what the beauty molecule is, and you're going to have all different strategies to enhance beauty molecule in your body, whether it's meditation or moderate exercise, or the food you're eating or supplements you're taking, and it's all there. And it's easy, it's an easy read, and there's going to be lists and lists of foods and protocols. It just makes this so easy for everybody. And it's a non-intimidating book. It's not heavy duty science. It's just really a lot of common sense and a lot of things that you should know about. And so we want to make sure everybody reads this book and integrates this in their lives. The simplest things we do have a huge impact on our lives in so many ways. So it should be the beauty, health, and longevity molecule, but it's just a beauty molecule. You'll find
Beauty
out.
molecule. This is extraordinary. And you did change the world 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I guess it is now. You truly did. Those of us that were around back then, remember you had so much that you had to push through. There was so much pushback. There was so much aversion. People were terrible to you when you started talking about nutrition and skin and inflammation. And you really had to stand your ground. And now it's accepted as, of course, inflammation is associated with all sorts of disease. But I find myself chiming in on conversations being like, with Dr. Perricone that actually put it all on the line and brought that to you. And they're like, Hillary, not dinner time conversation. I'm like, the reason you're eating salmon is because, and they're like, you're so annoying. But it's happening again, and you're doing it again. And I'm really passionate about people knowing that you've been here all along and you've been working for so long, and for you to come out when you feel like you have something really well researched and really new to share. And through everything that you've been doing with Yale and with the children and the school systems, we all need that change. And it's going to change the world again, and for several generations at the very least. Hopefully, it will become the new standard.
It's really nice now that's mainstream because the beginning was really tough. Anger and a lot of anger, especially. And so the anger was really on levels of academics. They were the most angry about this whole thing. But what actually made this thing happen was people like you and the average person reading the book and then trying the anti-inflammatory diet. And now it is mainstream. And so a lot of people are benefiting. You can actually see the cover of the book. It's on Amazon now. The release date is April 15th. You can pre-buy it, but take a look at it. You'll see the cover and it's sitting there. Go to Dr. Perricone. My books will come up and then the new one will be there, release date of April 15th.
April 15th. This is so exciting.
Perfect.
Okay, so
Well,
we
we'll
can
link
start
that.
so we can start sounding the horns.
Okay, great. Yeah. If you go in this book and you go cover to cover, you will now know how to completely repair your mitochondria, turn the clock back in so many different ways. It's just fantastic. And so you'll see a difference. I talk about a lot of things, just a lot of things. And what comes down to mitochondria at the end of the day.
We were waiting for the title. Now that it's on Amazon, we can say that we're releasing and launching Beauty Molecule on Life Gloss with Dr. Perricone.
It'll be a lot of fun.